guys back at it again. That's right. We are working on a 2006 to 2011 Honda Civic today. All right, so the deal with this car is got a wheel bearing. It is messed up. He's been having it like that for the longest. Don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I'm hooking him up, and we're actually about to swap out the wheel bearing on it. Tools that you're gonna need is a 32 mil for the axle nut. You're gonna need a 17 mil half inch, 19 mil half inch. You're gonna use the impact for these, and then just a regular ratchet for this right here is gonna be a 12 and a 10 mil, and then 17 mil to hold back up on the actual strut bolts themselves. So we got that. I always use this electric ratchet. I love it. And then also your ratchet right there. Also, we are gonna need snap ring pliers. All right, so we're gonna need them in order to remove the bearing off the spindle itself. We're gonna need a hammer. All right, a hammer and 22 mil along with a swivel half inch and a half inch extension with some needle noses and some channel locks to be able to take off some cotter keys out. All right, you're also going to need this is the hub puller. All right, so in order to be able to take it off, so I'll put it on the description below so you guys can actually just click on the link and purchase it, and you guys will see how everything will be used on here. You're going to need this. All right, without this you're gonna have a hard time replacing any front wheel drive bearing. All right, so you need this kit. This kit it's the best. All right, so I'll post a link on the description below as well, so you guys just click on it and purchase it right there. So this is what I use. I love it. Never had any issues with it, and it's worked with every single car I've worked on. Anyways, so that's that, and then I'll post a part number for the wheel hub and the bearing below. So this comes as a whole kit, so make sure I check out the description for that. I'll put the link on there. Anyways, let's get to it. So got it up on the jack, and let's go ahead and start by removing this. It's gonna be 12 mil right here, 17 mil for the actual bracket for the caliper. All right, so the caliper is off, the caliper bracket is off. You got the two 17 bolts over here in the back, just so you guys can see better, because with everything on it's harder to see. All right, then take your rotor. It just comes right off, and let's go ahead and start taking off. I'm gonna break this axle nut first, and then I'll go ahead and break these bolts right here, which is gonna be a 17 mil on one side and 19 mil on the other side. All right, so 17 mil and 19 mil. Let's go ahead and break this axle nut first, which is going to be a 32 mil. So I broke this loose. I haven't removed them yet. I took this one completely off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take off my wheel speed sensor, which is right there. It's going to be a 10 mil. So let me go ahead and remove that. All right, sensor is off. Make sure you guys clean all this off, because sometimes it's got metal debris on there and it'll mess with the sensor itself. So you can put it just off to the side. And this one's actually clipped on here, but this one's actually broken, so I'm not even gonna mess with it. All right, so let's go ahead and remove these bolts, and once we remove these, then hopefully the axle will just come right out. If not, we're gonna have to beat the center of it right there with a chisel, a punch or something. So beat it in and it should come out. So we'll see. Let's see. It looks like it's moving without any issue. Yeah, let's see. There it goes. It just came right off. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and take this off. Now we're gonna have to remove, after that's pushed out, make sure you just set it off to the side. You're gonna have to remove this 17 mil off the tie rod, and then this 22 mil for the bottom ball joint. So let's go ahead and do that, and make sure you get a hammer and some needle nose or regular channel locks for to remove the cotter pins. So let's go ahead and take these off. All right, once you remove this, the nut, the 17 mil, then just grab a hammer and just beat it, and it'll vibrate off instead of having a hard time trying to pull that off. All right, let me go ahead and do the same thing for this one. Remove it with the 22 mil, then hit this until it comes off. So after you remove everything, make sure, I just took the nuts off, but these bolts come off. You got to take this off to be able to slide off the axle off to the side. All right, now let's go ahead and set up the actual hub puller. So I have it here, and this comes with two different sets, but this is the one we actually need. All right, so make sure you put it on there, get your actual lug nuts, put them on there nice and snug, and then you're also going to get this piece and put it on here, and then we'll hammer it out. So that's how this works. There it goes, it's out. All right, that one was actually a bit harder to take off, but it is out. All right, so there's the nut right there, 22 mil, and there it goes, fully disassembled. Let's go ahead and start taking off. Like, see, you guys can actually see everything that's messed up in there. All right, now I took it off, and we're gonna use some snap ring pliers to actually get the snap ring off. All right, for you guys wondering how this goes on, all right, so you're gonna find one that actually fits in here. This is what's gonna push the bearing out, and then this over here, this is the sleeve that's actually gonna go here, sit on that, and then the bolt comes in through this way in order to hold this in place and be able to push it out. So here, let me set it up. There it is. This is a setup right here, and I'm gonna be using the 32 mil because it fits right on that nut itself. All right, see, and I'm gonna hold back up here at the bottom in order for it to not move on me. All right, so let me go ahead and do this real quick. And that's how the cookie crumbled. So you see how it actually came out. All right, go ahead and take this off. Install a new one now. Clean this off real good. Get all the metal out of it. All right, so let's go ahead and install it. See, you got the one that fits down there. Right here, I put that spacer down here at the bottom just to hold it up in place, and then you're gonna put a light coat of grease on the bearing itself, and then start putting it on here. And we're gonna use the one that actually fits perfectly on the bearing to push it in. All right, and this HUD looks right there put together. All right, now we're gonna hold back up down at the bottom and bring it in. Whenever I'm installing it, I like doing it nice and slow because you can easily damage it. So I'm just gonna take my time. All right, so it is in, as you guys can see, on both sides. Bottom's out right there. All right, now let's go ahead and put the snap ring in. Here it is. Let's go ahead and now put it on. Make sure you wear safety glasses. You don't want this thing to snap back at you, come out and get you. And watch your fingers as well. All right, that is in. And now let's go ahead and put it back in. Put the hub on. I like putting it from this side. I'll do the same thing, just apply a light coat of grease on here. There it is. I usually just put have to put something back here in order for this not to pop out, and then just tap it on the front. And the same thing for the hub itself. See, got to put another one that fits there, the same one you were using down here at the bottom, and just tighten it up so you can press it in. All right, let's go ahead and install everything. I ran out of the daylight, but we're gonna start off with the lower ball joint. So let's go ahead and install this. Remember, it has a cotter pin. All right, so after we do this, then we'll go ahead and install the CV axle along with everything else and torque it down. All right, right, that's tightened up. Let's go ahead and install the CV axle in. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Nah, I can't. Let me go ahead and install it, and then I'll put the nut on and tighten it up. Okay, so the CV axle is installed. Make sure it's sitting all the way in. Kind of shake it to bring it in, and just let it sit all the way down. The nut is on. Now you got a tapper right here to lock it in place. I put these bolts on the top of the spindle where it connects to the strut. So that's next. I'm gonna tighten that up. You don't want to forget any of them, because then it'll be a bad day. All right, so let me torque all this up, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, the strut bolts are torqued down, which was the 19 and the 17. Let's go ahead and put the tie rod on as well. That's going to be a 17, I believe. Is it a 17? A 19. No, hold on. And let's go ahead and put our tie rod in. That's going to be a 17. All right, tie rod in is in. Now let's go ahead and put our speed sensor. All right, speed sensor is in and secured. Let's go ahead and put our rotor on. And I'm not putting the nut on. I'm not putting a screw in because they didn't have one, so make sure this is not rubbing anywhere. All right, so it's in. Let's go ahead and put the caliper bracket on, apply some Loctite to the bolts for the bracket, and then install the caliper itself. All right, bracket is in. Let's go ahead and I installed Loctite on these two bolts, the one that holds it in place. Put your pads back on, and now I'm gonna go ahead and install the caliper. All right, so everything's torqued up, and that's how you install the wheel bearing on a 2010 Honda Civic. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe. I'm used to Instagram. Subscribe, share and like, and hey, any feedback helps. Appreciate all the support. Catch you on the next one.